Greetings, Poke fans. Welcome back to Poke Relaxing. Today, I want to share with you a very interesting list, I think, for those who are, like many of us, trying to find the best value in the world of Pokemon, and in particular, value within the booster packs that you open. So I was looking at a Reddit Pokemon investing channel and subreddit, I guess they call it. And somebody posted an interesting analysis that, I certainly haven't checked numerically to make sure that the calculations are right, or to get kind of a very deep sense of, whether there was validity to how they calculated. But I think that regardless of that, the sort of, like, I don't know, like the U.S. News, top 10 colleges or whatever. It's like, well, okay, you're not going to dig too deep. You just want to know what the list says, in part because it's interesting to know how, each item relates to the others in the list. And so, anyways, this person put together a list of the modern packs with the best ROI, the return on investment. And so I'm going to go through without showing you the list. I'll show you the list at the end, but I want to show you kind of in a Dave Letterman top 10 format, the top 10 sets in order from 10 and then ending on 1, which would be the booster pack with the greatest return on investment, at least as calculated by this person who made this list. So you may ask, well, how do you determine the ROI for a set? And the answer is that it's not like supremely simple, right? Like you can, and a lot of people do this. You can add up the value of all of the cards in the set and have the total set value, but what you do with that is not necessarily the easiest thing, because each card in there has a different rarity level. So you need to account for the rarity of a card and then the value of the card. So basically you could do this by breaking down like the ROI based on, or the contribution to ROI of every single card in the set. So you think about Evolving Skies, the Moonbryon is a very valuable card, but it's a very rare card. So you'd figure out for that particular card what its contribution is to the ROI for the product or for the average booster pack. And you would do that for every single card in the set, and then you would have a total ROI for the entire thing for the average booster pack. That would be very complicated to do. So what this person did is basically for each rarity level, so like ultra rares or illustration rares or secret rares or whatever, right? Like they figured out basically a formula where they looked at the average value of the cards in that rarity level, and then determined based on how common or rare it was, what its contribution, what the contribution of each card in that rarity level, or what the contribution of the entire rarity level was to the ROI. So he sort of did a grouping rather than on a per card basis, like what I described as potentially the most accurate way. But in any event, I'm going to share. I'll include a link to the post where this guy kind of lays out a little bit more clearly what he does, although he doesn't say what his exact formula is, so we're kind of just trusting here. But maybe this is just for entertainment value, so don't make any investment decisions based on the data that we see here. But I did think it would be cool to go through each of these and also look at some of the cards from each of the sets in the top 10 to see kind of what the awesome things you can get in that set are. So I had to get a little drink there. I'm going to have to get some water later. But um, so the first issue you may wonder is, what sets were included in this analysis, and the answer is everything from Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and then Scarlet and Violet. So the last 3 eras basically are included. So let's go through it. Coming in at number 10, we have Brilliant Stars. This one had, sorry, I have to move a window here. This one had a per pack price of $5.09. And by the way, I looked at I did a spot check of the pack prices cited in this, in this analysis, and they all seem to have moved upward from whenever this person checked it. He said that the data was from January 9th, which was yesterday, but I doubt everything moved up that much, so I'm guessing he actually pulled the pack prices from maybe a week ago or so, or something like that. But the pack price changing would actually, affect the ROI, but we'll just sort of assume they're all off by a similar variance level, and assume that the rankings here would still stand even if we updated pack prices for all the packs looked at in this analysis. So number 10, Brilliant Stars, that's what you see here before you, at a pack price of $5.09 and an expected value based on the formula of $2 for every booster box that you open, giving you a 39.3% ROI, which again is the lowest in the top 10. So the rest of the things we're going to look at give you an ROI of greater than 39%. So the cards in this set, I have to say, I've been on a real kind of Brilliant Stars kick in the last week or week and a half, just because it's a set from the Sword and Shield era that is definitely lagging behind in market value, behind certainly Evolving Skies, now Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, and so I said, well, what's in this set? And I looked, and the first card is the best card is an alt art or a special illustration rare, I guess they'd call it in Scarlet and Violet era. But anyways, the top card is a Charizard, which appeals to me because I'm a Charizard guy. I don't have any of the Charizards, I don't think, from this set, but there's 3 of them that are worth north of 20. One's worth 58, one's worth 191. So those are really cool. I like this Luminion a lot. Arceus has a lot of value. There's actually a 4th Charizard. There's a ton of Charizards if you're into that thing. And then kind of after the top, 9 or 10, it does go down pretty quickly. So anyway, it's got some Pikachu and a Raichu as well. So if you're a Pikachu collector, you've got something in this product as well. But I don't know. I think a lot of Mimikyu is kind of a cool card. He doesn't often get illustration rares or full art cards. So there's another Raichu. So I don't know, some cool looking cards in here definitely for Charizard folks, and for a handful of other Pokemon that I don't see a lot of focus on, at least not in the Scarlet and Violet era sets. So anyways, that's Brilliant Stars, number 10 on the list of best ROI booster packs in the modern era. Alright, coming in at number 9 with an ROI of 39.75%, which is just less than 1% higher than the Brilliant Stars, is Twilight Masquerade. And this set has been on a tear lately, ever since it went out of stock at the Pokemon Center website. It has been going up and up and up, and I think the booster boxes are now, let's check real quick. I did all these searches just to show cards so we can see the cards, but there's the booster boxes, 185, and you can kind of see exactly, right here, they went out of stock very end of December, and straight line up kind of deal with these, cheapest listed being about 185 shipped. So see how many. There's about, like, I don't know, 50 of these that have to be sold before it gets to kind of 199, cusp of 200 territory. But if we look at the cards in the set, of course, the Greninja leads the way. It's like the second most valuable card in the in the current era, Scarlet and Violet, after the Pikachu special illustration rare from Surging Sparks. Of course, both of those might get blown away. Actually, they both will get blown away by the Umbreon SIR coming in the Prismatic Evolution set once that starts to become, or the pricing on that starts to become available. But after the Greninja, there's this really cool Eevee card that's actually been popular for a long time, but might get a little bit more of a price boost now that Twilight Masquerade is, kind of coming up in value and I think respect as one of the best sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. This Tatsugiri is kind of fun. Sort of looks like oh man, who is that? I'm trying to think of that, like that artist from like the late 80s who, actually kind of mid to late 80s, who had a style that was kind of like this, very cartoony. Yeah, quite a few cards above, the $10 price point. I think more even than Brilliant Stars, but this Greninja is certainly the star of the show. Nothing in Brilliant Stars was over 200. This is, almost $350, and it has been, I think, as high as $350 at some point in the past. Oh, maybe not. It's kind of all-time high right now. Anyways, good to see I've got this card off at PSA being graded right now, so happy to see that one going up. All right, so that was number 9. Number 8, we break into the 40% ROI category with Paradox Rift, which has a pack price on this analysis of $355. I think that's quite low, and that would be one that has probably gone up a fair bit since then. But an expected value of $1.42. So interestingly, the thing that makes the ROI higher for Paradox Rift than for the prior two sets is the pack price is lower by over $1 compared to Brilliant Stars, and over 50 cents lower than the Twilight Masquerade pack. So Paradox Rift is a cheap set with a good amount of value in it, returning an expected value of $1.42 per pack for an ROI of 40.03%. Leading the way on this one is Gowda, but there's just a ton of cards that are over the $10 or right around the $10 mark in this set, and I think a lot of these cards have gone up over the kind of last couple of months as the marketplace has exploded. Roaring Moon is certainly one that has lurched up lately, and Iron Valiant is also very popular. This Guard Chomp is a cool card. I think I have that somewhere. I never heard of Palossal. Looks kind of like Pikachu. But, yeah, just a bunch of kind of really cool cards. I like this one a lot. That I think are probably going to get more valuable over time, as this set gets harder and harder to find for the cheap prices that it's at, and people start to maybe desire the cards inside of it a bit more than they do now. Certainly all the prices on this stuff, but all the prices on everything Pokemon have gone up in the past couple of months. So Paradox Rift is one of the last sets to kind of come up in value from the original booster price of like sub $100 that was around. I remember when I kind of really started getting into buying Pokemon sealed stuff, Paradox Rift and Scarlet and Violet base booster boxes were around for just like months, and Paradox Rift was actually, I think, the cheapest box you could get, and it was like it was like below $90, so it was like clearance priced. I think it was cheaper even than Scarlet and Violet So I bought a few cases, from my distributor at that point, and picked up a few more over the next few months after that. So I have a pretty decent stock of it. But anyways, that's number 8. Number 7 is SV07 Stellar Crown, which is kind of one of the boxes that recently joined like the $150 booster box club. Kind of surprising because this set, when it came out, did not get a lot of love. You could definitely get booster boxes of this for like just under $100 shipped, pretty soon after it came out. So there was plenty of this stuff sitting around. And the top card is this Terapagos, which I think actually is kind of gone down a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. What the hell is this chart? This is a weird chart. I don't know what this... Oh, this is damaged holofoil? Like, what are we doing? I don't know why they have the chart for damaged holofoil, but in any event, I feel like I've seen this one go down a little bit, but it kind of seems to be pretty stable at that sort of mid-$80 level for the last few weeks. But the Terapagos is kind of a weird card. A lot of people don't like the cards in Scarlet and Violet that have a prominent, like, jewel rainbow crown thing, which is, sort of the theme. And it's certainly very prominent in Prismatic Evolution. So you see it a lot, and a lot of people don't like the cards that feature that, even if they're super rare. So I feel like this card is kind of, dampened by that dislike of that design element. I personally don't like it much myself, but there are a ton of other cool cards. My older daughter pulled this Bulbasaur, and man, she is not going to trade that thing to me. I'm going to have to probably go buy it because I really want to get it. This set is actually really growing on me because of this Bulbasaur and this Squirtle. My collecting sort of theme, other than Charizard, is like little baby animal characters. So Squirtle and Bulbasaur are, absolutely perfect for my collection. And I actually just picked up this is the rarer Squirtle. There's another one that actually, it's not in this set, I don't think. Yeah, it's from a different set, but I think it's from 151. But this is a very cool card of Squirtle, I think, and I'm gonna have to get this one day, and I'll definitely have to get that Bulbasaur. So, anyways, those are fan favorites that have come up a fair bit in recent months. But there's a nice Lapras. Man, Discord's going nuts on my upstairs computer. This Reboot is pretty cool. Yeah, there's not a lot of depth right now. Like, cards over $10, there's like just about 11, which is not that many. The other sets we've looked at so far have been much deeper in terms of number of $10 cards, but I do think that people are starting to, desire these two cards, and not necessarily the Terapagos, but some of these other cards a little bit more. So who knows what the future may hold for this one. This one does have a low pack price, at least in the analysis. It was $3.78. I think that's probably, gone up since this was done, since those numbers were pulled. But anyways, yeah, this guys kind of consider this set as one that's kind of on the move, and it certainly, in terms of unopened price, has gone up quite significantly in the last few weeks. So, all right, that was number 7. Number 6 is Temporal Forces. This is one that kind of, like, I don't know, this is like 2 or 3 months ago. Like, all of a sudden, everybody decided this set was, like, amazing, and the prices on the unopened stuff, like, kind of went nuts. Temporal Forces, looks like $3.98 is the pack price in this analysis, with an ROI for the set of 41.45%. I kind of want to see if I can quickly get the current booster pack price. $4.09. Yeah, so they had it at $3.98 in this analysis. So it has gone up, I guess, not terribly much. Um, but booster box prices on this stuff have been very healthy for quite some time. And I don't have a ton of this, unfortunately, but I actually just heard today a little whisper that the restock of booster boxes of Temporal Forces is possibly going to be hitting distributors very soon. So I may have an opportunity to pick up some of those, at distributor pricing, which would be awesome because I'd love to buy, I don't know, I'd buy up to probably 20, 30 booster cases of this stuff if it's at distributor pricing. I mean, you'd be crazy not to buy as much as you can at this point. These things are like, well, let's just check it out, shall we? Did I already check this? Did I already look at this? Yeah, so 159 with the lowest offer price of 160 shipped. So this stuff is not cheap by any stretch. Let's see here. Go back to the singles. Okay, so yeah, so Iron Crown's really cool. Walking Wake is pretty sweet. Gouging Fire. So it does have like I think more so than the other sets we've looked at so far. It does have more cards over that like kind of $40 or $50 range, especially if you count these as at about 40. And you have to believe that a lot of those are going to have potential. And then it has a lot of cards that are $10 or higher, so that's I think very helpful to the value. This Deerling's pretty cool. I've got I think I got one of these, and like one of the kids has one of those as well. So that's definitely in my baby animal Pokemon collection for sure. Actually, that should be there too. Man, I gotta get a lot of these cards, guys. So anyway, some really cool cards. Top card, of course, is the Raging Bolt with his head in a little cloud up there. $93 on that one. Alright, that was Temporal Forces at number 6. Time to break into the top 5. This one kind of surprised me, guys. Did not expect to see it, but it's another one where I think the relatively low pack price, given the age of the set, does help a lot. But here we go, Pokemon GO. Oh man, this is Japanese. See what happens if I just, yeah, okay. Alright, so I gotta find the English one of this. Sorry. And I gotta learn how to type. So Pokemon GO is right here. So yeah, relatively low pack price as far as Sword and Shield era sets go. The highest value card in the set is very low, and we'll see some other sets in the top 5 that have a very kind of low top end, but are so cheap and have a number of, kind of relatively easy to find cards that have a decent value, like this Radiant Charizard and all the other Radiant cards. I mean, those are relatively common. So, they have a decent amount of value to them. This Mewtwo, I think, is really interesting. I feel like that one, because a lot of Mew and Mewtwo stuff is going up in value right now, and this one's a really unique and I think cool looking card. So I'm sure it's gone up, recently, but I do feel like that's one that could be more popular over time. A couple of these rainbows are pretty high. A bunch of Mewtwo's in this set, and Dragonites, both of which are pretty dang popular. So, a number of good cards. I feel like this is also a very small set, so I wonder if maybe your chances of getting any particular card are pretty solid. I may be totally wrong about that, but I do think, yeah, like these numbers are out of 78, so it's like a tiny set, I think. And that does help odds of getting, any of the cards in the set that you are after. But yeah, I was surprised to see this, and I have to say I've probably opened about like 5 Pokemon Go packs in my life, so really minimal experience with it. But I don't know, maybe I'll have to hunt down some more. Okay, number 4. So now we're getting into the big dogs. Paldea Evolved, of course, is definitely proving to be one of the darlings of the Scarlet and Violet era. I want to take a quick peek at the booster boxes of these because they've been on a rocket ship lately. Look at that. Just $2 under 200 for the market price, but probably have some sales yeah, well, I don't know who bought one for 250. They must have had a stroke or something, but there's that one. There's a 204. These are all from today, a 210. So, it's already it's already gone above 200. I mean, there is a listing for this is about 200 with the 15 shipped. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Paldea Evolved is a $200 box. Can you believe it? This stuff was pretty dang easy to get at distribution pricing, like 3-4 months ago. And I actually picked up a pretty big stash of this. I had a bunch of it just because it was cheap when I started buying, booster cases. And so it was one of those ones you could get for, about like $600 a booster case, shipped, which is a no-brainer. I think at this point it certainly is, but even back then, something would have to be pretty crappy not to be worth that, at least in my calculation at the time. But yeah, the market really likes this stuff. So it's right now it's the second most valuable set after Surging Sparks, which sits at about $245 to $250 a booster box the last time I looked, which was like earlier this morning, but anything can change within a couple hours at this point. But let me get rid of the sealed stuff and take a look at the cards. And of course the Magikarp, it's one of the highest priced cards in the Scarlet and Violet era for right now. It's $227, I think this thing basically, like started to take off, and then people started to realize, oh, geez, Paldea is probably a pretty solid set if it's got a card this nice. I mean, the artwork is just amazingly original. There's a few other cards by this artist that you're probably, excuse me, you're probably familiar with, because it's, sort of very unique and striking art style. So, anyways, other than that, there's the Iono. Man, I have pulled this card like 3 times, you guys. I don't know why, but I'm getting a lot of it. Actually, it was like $54 when I pulled it, so it's gone up a fair bit. I think I might have one off in grading. I'm not sure. Or maybe I graded one, and I think it came back a 9, which is disappointing. Anyways, Tyranitar is pretty solid. I don't know if I've seen this Raichu before, but it looks pretty cool. This GU is amazing. Oh, that's so cool. I gotta get that card. I actually I just bought this Marill for my younger daughter who had the birthday. I bought a few singles for her. But that's the sort of thing that probably I have to get in my collection at some point. So maybe I'll trade. But, quite a few cards over the $20 level are right just at it. And then, like a full, I think this is like one of the first sets where we've seen a full page of cards over $10 here. So a ton of value, very deep set, and a card that is going to be, that's going to go down as one of the best of the era in that Magikarp. So not surprising, this set is, taking a top spot in, the Scarlet and Violet era, but it also is number 4 in the modern era, the last 3 eras, for ROI. This one has an ROI of 49.26% based on a pack price of $4.05 and an expected value of $1.99. All right, number 3. This is going to surprise some of you, I think. But I was happy to see it. Shrouded Fable. Look at that. ROI 51.67%. I kind of feel like I'm feeling that because I bought a bunch of loose packs of this stuff, and I did a video opening some, and I got like, really great cards. Now I have to say, my luck has not been as good opening more of those packs off screen, which I've done a lot of because I kind of got those packs just to rip them, which is really the only reason I buy loose packs. Everything else I get in sealed form. But in any event, it's weird that the most valuable card is is an item card or a trainer card, and I'm kind of shocked that it's a gold one, because the golds are often like some of the lesser value, the sort of mid-level value within a set. But in this one, and I don't know, there's something weird about why, like, I don't know, I think it has to do with the utility of this card in the game or something, but because I know like there's a base card of this, and that's worth like $1 or $2 raw, which is very unusual for like a base card. So I don't know. I guess I think that has something to do with why this card is the most valuable. But I assume over time, like most kind of cards like that, where the utility of it is a relevant part of the value, then once it goes out of rotation for legal gameplay, then it will go down in value, and you'll be looking at these other cards as the top ones. And so Pheasantipity is the top kind of non-trainer card, and it's $52. I've never seen this one in person. Actually, I've never seen either of these two in person, but basically the rest I have, or I've seen a bunch of them. But Cassiopeia is $43. This Persian, I think, is really cool. I feel like this should be the most valuable in the set, but it's just an illustration rare. The others are SIRs or hyper rares in case of the golds. But it's a really cool card. I like this a lot. I actually have this one in my collection, as well as this one, the Death Skull, I think I have in my collection as well. The Houndoom is also pretty valuable. I don't particularly like the art on this, but it is very striking, so I can see how it would appeal to some people. So quite a few cards over that $10 level. I mean, almost got a full page of them. And what really oh man, I gotta get this Q font. Look at that thing, it's beautiful. So the main advantage Shrouded Fable has over every other set, in this list, is that it's cheap as dirt. The pack price, well, actually, it's interesting. The pack price is only $387 in this chart, which makes it not the cheapest pack. Like Paradox Rift is the cheapest pack, if you look at it that way. But I don't know. I have found Shrouded Fable to be quite widely available as the most inexpensive pack, out of any era. So I don't know. I don't know why that's not cheaper in this thing, but it isn't. So here we are. But anyways, based on the data from this guy's calculation, this has a ROI of 51.67%, which is the first one over 50%. So you have I guess a chance, or on average, you will get over half your value back, which is kind of sad in a way, but also better than pretty much every other set. So anyways, that's Shrouded Fable. Let's go on to number 2. Probably not a big surprise to anybody that 151 is the number 2. It does have the highest pack price of any pack in this list, and it's funny, you don't see any of the Sun and Moon sets in here, and that's because those pack prices are all insane, especially given that a lot of those sets are really, really weak. So, the primary driver of pack price for Sun and Moon and older sets is the rarity of the packs in sealed form. They just, don't exist very much anymore, and, people are still opening those things. So, that makes the ROI really bad on basically any of that stuff. So, that's why I think you don't see any of them in this list. But there are expensive packs, namely the 151, which they have at $9.48 a pack, and that's probably a little bit low too. It's probably $10 a pack. But the ROI on the set, as calculated in this list, is 53.63%. So yeah, no shortage of just absolutely gorgeous cards in this set. I gotta get this Squirtle. I really want to get this Charizard, but I feel like it's just too much. Can't even think about spending that much on a card at this point. And boy, I've had the worst luck opening 151, you guys. It is a crazy town. How poorly I've done in I mean, I've opened, I think, a couple of booster bundles and maybe 2 ETBs and gotten like Jack Squat. So, anyways, the Charmander and the Charizard, the art on these and the Charmeleon are all sort of, I think, by the same guy, and they're very thematically similar. So I think like the set of these is just fantastic as a Charizard guy, I have to say. Just amazing stuff, these 3 cards here. The Squirtle and the Blastoise are awesome. The Venusaur has a ton of value. Zapdos is not far behind. I feel like I might, do I? I feel like either I or one of my kids has that card. But a ton of high value cards. And this Charizard was not always $220. I mean, it was like down to, actually, you gotta look like, but at its lowest, it was like under $100. So this was not a super high end card for much of its life. But then right around here, it sort of took off over 100, and no looking back on that one. So now it's kind of, it's at the level of the Magikarp and the Greninja and those kinds of cards that are just sort of like super crazy expensive and desirable. So it's got that big marquee card, and then it's got a ton of cards that are around $50, give or take 10-20 bucks, which is not true of any other set except maybe the one we're going to see at number 1 here. So tons of cool stuff. War Turtle is also very popular. So is Poliwhirl. Bunch of these Mews in this set. Ninetales. A cool Pikachu. $31. Just a ton of cards. I mean, you got to look at this. You got to go like 2 pages to get below $10. So a lot of value in this set, and people are just super fond of it for a variety of reasons that I think you probably understand. It's got a ton of people's favorite Pokemon. It's got some really cool arts in it, and yeah, I don't know. People just love it. It's very nostalgic, I think, for a lot of folks, and I like it too. But I am afraid to open any of it because I have gotten absolutely squashed every time I've tried. But maybe I'll pick up a couple of boxes at Costco here next week when they're supposed to be hitting. And if I do, maybe I'll open those and, call it quits if I don't get anything after that. All right, number 1, drum roll, please. I have to say the ROI calculated on this one is 69.26%, folks. That is insane based on a pack price of $5.19. Oh, by the way, I did a couple of videos. I opened up some loose Crown Zenith packs that I ordered from a store in the Midwest here, and I was waiting for those dang things for like 2 weeks because I really wanted to see if they were legit or not, if they had good cards, and I'm pretty confident they're legit. But like the same day I made that video, I went back to go pick up some more of those bundles, which were like 151 bucks for 36 packs, which is like just over $4 a pack, and it's a fantastic deal. But they were gone. Frickin' A. I think they had like 6 bundles of them too. So yeah, bummer. I'm not gonna have any Crown Zenith there. But I have also heard through the grapevine this week that my local Sam's Club, which isn't necessarily, I think, in sync with any other Sam's Club, because I think each Sam's Club's stock is sort of unique to that store, so what happens in my store is irrelevant to what happens in your store, I think, kind of thing. But I did hear from a person at the Sam's Club where I'm at that they were going to be getting more Sea and Sky this week. So if so, I'm going to try to get as much of that as I can, so that I can open lots of Crown Zenith at, $2 and whatever, 60 cents a pack or whatever it goes for in those things. Absolutely crazy. All right, so wow, we're not even looking at these cards yet. Crown Zenith, number one, 69.26% ROI. Can you believe that? That is crazy. Again, the ROI on 151 is calculated at 53%, and just about every other set other than Shrouded Fable was lower than 50%. So like 69.26% is head and shoulders above the other sets in the list in terms of ROI calculated, based on this gentleman's formula that we're looking at. So I don't know. What can I tell you? I love Crown Zenith. It's my favorite set. I would open Crown Zenith, every single day if I could. And it's easy to see why. Is Giratina is, it's one of those Magikarp, kind of Greninja level cards that is just going to be kind of a marquee card for the Scarlet and Violet era for years to come. And then there's two other $100 plus cards. This card, my older daughter pulled from one of my Seen Sky boxes. I've been trying to get it from her ever since, but she won't trade, so I am never going to have it from her. But maybe I'll pull on my own one day. And these cool gold cards are pretty sweet, I have to say. All of them are worth $70 or more. There's a bunch of evolutions in here. This Glaceon's really cool. I had that, just traded it to my youngest daughter. Leafeon, never seen that one in person. Yeah, just a ton of really cool stuff in here. This Pikachu is actually pretty sweet too, $17. Is that the one that's like really, no, there's like another Pikachu that's much more common. Just pulled this Mew the other day. So this does not have a full page of $10 or more cards, but the top end of this one is just ridiculous. 3 cards over $100, that's nuts. And then, a couple of 70s, and then a bunch of like 25 and higher. So much value in those top like 10 cards. And plenty of other interesting things you can get in here as well. Pulled this Latias the other day as well. Oh, I'm going to have to pick up this Manaphy for my adorable baby Pokemon collection. So there you have it, folks. See if I can show you the list here. Yeah, here it is. So this is it. I'll try to link this up in the description. If I don't, just leave a comment and I'll reply with the list. But this doesn't say much about the specifics of how he calculated everything, but just kind of describes it at a high level. So take it with a grain of salt. But still, I thought this was really fun to see, and I'd love to see more kind of number crunching like this from the world. Looks like My Lizard is the guy who posted it. Wow, he's got a lot of karma. And then the comments are interesting too. But one thing I did not, pull up the pages for, but he gave the ROIs for 3 of the kind of more popular sets right now. Surging Sparks at 32.5% would put it at 14 on this list. Fusion Strike with an ROI of 21.96% would put it at number 20 of all the sets. And Evolving Skies with an ROI of just 16.57% comes in at number 27. So that's definitely one that gets killed by the high price. A lot of valuable cards in there, and a lot of value in the top like 10 or even 15 cards in the set, but the price is just so high it makes the ROI tough to keep up with these other lower cost products. But if you consider Evolving Skies has been out for a long time, and it's been sort of pretty much unavailable for quite a while as well. But if you consider what the ROI of this set is, and how high it's gone, you have to believe Crown Zenith and 151. Again, the market may crash, at some point in the next, I don't know, 12 months, and bring everything down quite a bit. But if you look at the 2 or 3 or 5 year prospects of a product like Crown Zenith or Win 51, looking at the value, the ROI of Evolving Skies, you have to believe these things are headed for really good things. I don't know about the rest of these things, rest of these sets. I mean, I'm sure that anything with like a $200 plus card right now, which will probably turn into like a $500 card in a couple of years, I'm sure those sets are, headed for great things in the sort of 2-3 year time frame. But Crown Zenith and 151, I think, might be, at that Evolving Skies level of awesomeness. And if so, then I think those are going to be, very valuable sets with very valuable unopened products for those that choose to hold them. So that's what we got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really love seeing that list and kind of taking another look at all the sets and the cool cards you can get in each of them, at least the sets that are in this list. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. Hope you found some relaxation, and I hope everything's going awesome with you out in the Pokeverse. So that's what we got for today. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay relaxed. Bye now.